don't want these people here, right? I don't care about these, BBC types who go, well, surely you're not saying they're all rapists. Actually, I am saying they're all fucking rapists, Because it's the only language they understand.
As you know, you have been condemning Tommy Robinson as a racist for many, many years. You have been accused of racism, and I believe you may have been sacked or kicked out of Talk TV. Yeah. What do you have to say now that you have also been called the same as Tommy?
Well, I've had a lot to say. I've already done a big interview.
With Dan Wootton, but you're interviewing with me.
Yeah, I know, but...
You've been calling him a racist, and you are now being labelled as a racist, so what do you have to say?
Well, shit happens.
Breaking today, lefties are losing it over the newly independent Mike Graham making his most forthright and opinionated comments on the invasion of our country yet, which actually has had everyone on the right celebrating the fact that Mike is no longer shackled by the mainstream media. Of course, he was challenged, though, by Tommy Robinson and the crew from Urban Scoop, and I will show you what happened in that confrontation in just a moment. But first, I want to start with Mike's comments themselves. I mean, I was quite amused by Nick Dixon, formerly of GB News, posting, always fun to watch commentators once they no longer have to censor themselves for corporate media. Mike, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go. They're all effing rapists. And I have to say, I mean, it was a hell of a speech from Mike Graham. I want to show you some of the key points, including the areas that are causing the lefties to erupt. He started by calling Slippery Starmer a bit of a rude word.
Welcome to Chelmsford, where the weather has obviously been organised by Keir Starmer, that complete and utter fuckwit. I'm sorry, I don't know if there's too many children here, I don't want to swear too much, sorry guys. But there might be a bit of swearing, because Keir Starmer, a bloke who now can't actually walk in a straight line without tripping over, right? I don't know if that was Angela Rayner who was tripping over, by the way, over in... I see it went on fire as well, COP30. Despite the fact that they've completely driven coaching horses through the Amazon, it's now on fire, which is causing quite a big problem. But here we are. Listen, I want to thank the pink ladies. I can see a lot of pink out there. You guys should be very, very proud of yourselves, because when Orla said to me last week, would you mind coming out and speaking, I couldn't think of a better way to spend my Saturday, because you guys are a fucking inspiration, honestly.
Now, the video that has sparked all of the outrage, though, was when Mike was talking about the criminals. And by the way, they are all criminals who are in these migrant hotels. Watch.
Only yesterday, there's another one. Some Afghan bastard has come into this country and sexually assaulted and raped a 12-year-old girl. I mean, what is going on? We don't want these people here, right? I don't care about these, BBC types who go, well, surely you're not saying they're all rapists. Actually, I am saying they're all fucking rapists, Because it's the only language they understand, right? We don't want them here. We don't need them here, and they shouldn't be here. And we certainly don't want them anywhere near this town in Wethersfield, 600 of them being busted over.
Welcome to the independent media, Mike Graham. Keep it coming. You can imagine how the lefties reacted. Wokerati Marty posted the video saying, Mike Graham, the disgraced former Talk TV presenter, he's only disgraced in your little woke head, by the way, has just told a pink ladies anti-refugee protest in Chelmsford that all asylum seekers are fucking rapists. And then Alan Gibbons from your party, that's the hard left Islamist mob with Corbyn weighed in saying, this is hate speech, pure and simple. Harry Eccles added, this is gross racism and hate speech. Is it really, though? Or is Mike Graham finally just actually expressing the views of his audience, including the fact that his city, London, has been destroyed? Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show.
And Keir Starmer and his shitty, awful, crappy government are to blame. Right? You know why? Because it's got worse since they got in, hasn't it? Yes. Only a few years ago, I remember, it was fine to go down the street in London without worrying about getting your phone stolen or your fucking car window smashed in, right? Which happened to me both times, and nobody seemed to think there was anything weird about it. You know, we live in a great country. This is a brilliant country. This is a brilliant county. This Essex town, I've never seen so many Essex girls in my life. Apart from when I used to go to Stringfellows years ago. But, you know, you guys are the heart and soul of this country. It's not about race. It's not about colour. You know, there's plenty of people here who are not white. There's plenty of people here who support your cause and support your case, not because they're racist, but because they just want to live their lives.
Cue the elite class, like the awful David Aronovich who posted, "Remind us why News UK sacked you." But the point is, I think what News UK has done now is give someone away who actually is going to speak for the people in the independent media space. And he gave a glimpse of how he is going to be different in that space. Watch.
And they certainly don't want to be paying billions and billions of fucking pounds to these wankers coming into this country from Eritrea, from Sudan, from fucking Afghanistan, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, right? See some flags here. Surprised the local council haven't come around to confiscate them and lock you up. Because, you know, that's what you get locked up for now. You don't get locked up for raping and assaulting girls. You get locked up for having a flag. It's bloody ridiculous, right?
Mike also revealed more details of the plan for his new breakfast show.
So listen, I pledge to you, I've been away for a while, on leave apparently. I was never suspended, no. I wasn't even sacked, according to my lawyers, who cost a fucking lot of money, by the way. And I'm going to be back on December the 1st. And guess what I'm going to be doing?
Santa!
I'm going to be doing a breakfast show. But it's not going to start at 6, because that's too bloody early. It's going to start at 7. And it's going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be massive, right? And we're going to be talking about migrants, and we're going to be talking about why they shouldn't be here, and we're going to be continuing the campaign that the Pink Ladies have done so brilliantly with Ola and all of you, because this is only the beginning, right? Look at the state of that absolute wanker, Keir Starmer, right? Look at him. He wakes up every morning and goes, "Oh my God, even my fucking wife hates me," you know. He threw his own son under the bus the other day. Can you imagine? Yeah, my dad's the Prime Minister, but he's just a twat. You know, he will do anything that we can make him do, because he's weak, he's got no backbone, and he's got no philosophy of life, okay?
So that all went very well, okay? And he had a lot of support. But of course, as we have been tracking here on Outspoken, as I did ask Mike face-to-face in his first interview here last week, there is still significant anger to do with his previous comments branding Tommy Robinson racist. And this was the first opportunity that Tommy's media organisation Urban Scoop and the brilliant Wendell, who we all love, had the opportunity to put those concerns direct to Mike. It was a fascinating exchange and it caused a lot of interest online, but you be the judge. Watch. But first, the number one worst fruit for your waistline. Are you turning healthy fruits into highly unhealthy fruits without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put into your body, but the majority of Americans are guilty of making this single mistake that can counteract all of the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits help with occasional constipation, reduce bloating, and even help burn calories. Others can wreak havoc on your digestive system and energy levels. I came across this viral presentation from world-renowned surgeon Dr. Stephen Gundry that showcases the 3 fruits to stop eating today. And it was shocking. I had no idea. And after finding it out, I've stopped eating these too. I'm going to put a link for you all to watch it because I want you to gain this information. I think it's truly important. You can watch it right now at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. That's thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. I also linked it in the description box below the video too, so make sure to click on it or just go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Oh, and by the way, eliminating these fruits could forever change the way we help increase energy levels, decrease brain fog, support digestion, and even lose weight. So make sure to click below or go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken to find out now. Dr. Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. It's linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Just click on the link in the description below the video. But now, back to the show.
So, Mike, good afternoon. My name is Wendell Daniel.
Hi, Wendell.
I'm currently live streaming. I need to ask you a question in regards to Tommy Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, you have been condemning Tommy Robinson as a racist for many, many years. You have been accused of racism, and I believe you may have been sacked or kicked out of Talk TV.
Yeah.
What do you have to say now that you have also been called the same as Tommy?
Well, I've had a lot to say. I've already done a big interview.
With Dan Wootton, but you're interviewing with me.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't really got much to say about Tommy. Tommy and I don't get on. You know, it's
But
one of those
you've been
things.
calling him a racist, and you are now being labelled as
Yeah.
a racist. So what do you have to say?
Well, shit happens, is what I can say. Shit happens, mate. That's it.
Good one, mate.
Give him my regards.
I
Tell
will
him I'll
do.
see him soon.
But I'm currently live streaming on
Yeah,
Tommy
right.
Robinson's
Okay.
YouTube and
Great.
Tommy's
Congratulations.
Twitter.
Okay.
Will you be inviting him as one of your guests onto your show?
You never know. Wait and see.
So possibly.
Wait and see.
So Tommy saw that video and then posted shit happens. Brother Wendell interviewed Mike Graham earlier at the Pink Ladies protest. He politely confronted Mike, saying he lost his job on Talk after being accused of racism. Ironic, something Mike has accused me of for years while working within establishment media, feathering his own nest. It would be interesting to see if Mike has the balls to actually interview me now. He's free from the shackles of establishment media. I would do it just out of interest. The irony of this isn't lost on me, and he copied me in there because, of course, I have been suggesting that I would host the two of them for a debate on Outspoken. But if Tommy's prepared to go directly on Mike's new show, I would also be watching. I'd be like, where's the popcorn? Mike responded, though, a little bit angrily, still obsessed with me, he said, FFS. Then Tommy pointed to this post from March 2020. When he had said of Tommy nothing more than a thug, pure and simple, and yes, he's spending that crowdfunding money well. That was in regards to the fact that Tommy had been arrested for a common assault after a row at Centre Park swimming pool. But if you really do know anything about what happened, trust me, you would very much be on Tommy's side. Tommy weighed in further, saying Mike obviously wouldn't challenge a strange adult pinching the bum of a young child in a swimming pool. He would sooner concentrate his ire on those who would, because that's the kind of guy he is. When Mike Graham says I'm obsessed with him, I'm really not. I just know he's a total, whoa, SeaWorld. Rather than report the truth of what happened that day, he denied a little girl any recognition for deserving justice because I'm a so-called racist who likes to go around punching people up because of their skin color and not because of their inappropriate, perverted actions towards a child. Sometimes people need reminding because shit gets memory hold. I'd love for him to face me over this, but he probably won't have the bollocks to do it. So, well, to my superstar panel, Lucy Connolly and Lauren the Insider, that was quite a showdown, Lauren. Now, you have obviously worked for Urban Scoop, Tommy's media organization, in the past, but did you also like Mike Graham's big entry into the independent space? Because if you just put the row with Tommy to one side, I mean, he's saying some pretty incredible, bold stuff, Lauren, and he's got a huge fan base.
I think Mike is going to be huge, and you just feel that sense of euphoria for him that he has left the official narrative. And I do feel confident that actually Mike will start to see Tommy in a different way.
Yeah,
I'm
me
not a
too.
mouthpiece for Tommy or anything like that, but I know that when I was in mainstream media, you become brainwashed and you start to believe that the lies that are being pumped out, and the very news you're consuming is fake news. And I think now Mike has stepped over to the bright side. He will actually probably watch the documentaries, speak to the victims and survivors that Tommy has advocated for years and years. But I think Mike is very much needed within this free speech arena and on YouTube. It's absolutely fantastic that he is going to be bringing a breakfast show. And, News UK have given Mike the best launch. They've just handed it to him, and people are hungry for this. People want broadcasters like Mike. People don't want to pay for their TV license. The BBC have lost 1.1 billion. And
Mm.
let me remind you, viewers, if you haven't cancelled your TV license, why don't you do it today?
Do it
Because you don't
now.
need one. You can watch YouTube. You can watch Outspoken, my YouTube. There are so many out there, and this is what's great. Mike. Yes, he might not have said it eloquently, but come on, we're all sat at home thinking a lot of what Mike is saying, but most people don't have the balls to say it publicly.
Lucy Connolly, are you a Mike Graham fan? And what did you think of his new unshackled response at the weekend?
Yeah, well, we're all racist, aren't we, according to the mainstream media. So it's not really an insult for it, He probably thinks, meh, join the club. But yeah, I think this is another nail in the coffin for mainstream media, which is a great thing.
Yes.
We know, anybody with half a brain knows that the mainstream media just never reports the truth. That there are, there's always a narrative and somebody pushing them from behind. So it's fabulous that another person that has a big following is now, like you said, free from the mainstream media and is able to go and do their own channels and their own journalism, because more truth will come from that.
Totally will. So, Lauren, let me just ask you about this very specific row between Tommy and Mike. And you could very much still sense that this is difficult for Tommy because he feels deeply that that incident at Center Parcs meant that he should have support from people like Mike. Where do you stand on this, Lauren? And would you encourage Mike to accept Tommy's offer to go on his own show? I mean, I'd offered to host it here on Outspoken as sort of a neutral, but Tommy's saying, nope, I'd go into the Lion's Den, I would go on to Mike's show.
I think it should be on Outspoken only because you've got two people with Tommy and Mike that need to allow each other. They get quite passionate. But I think, part of the problem is Tommy is coming from a place where for years and years, the mainstream media have weaponized and distorted the truth. And sadly, Mike has come from that industry like you and I have done as well. And we know all too well how dangerous those narratives are. And Tommy is not a racist, but you can see when you leave the echo chamber mainstream how dangerous it is and how evil the mainstream media have been in their reporting. And I think Tommy comes from a place where he has given us the news that the government and the mainstream media have censored. Tommy has very much been the solution to the problem before, many of us have, and before it was on our radars. So I think he comes from a place of passion and he feels things very, very deeply because he has worked and met with more survivors that have been raped, groomed, failed, trafficked than anyone else. And I think that's, it will take Mike only a week or two from being in this industry and being able to actually be a free thinker, and he will realize that he has judged Tommy in error, and that's fine, you know, as long as we're all growing and learning and doing the work to actually find out what is real news and what is the truth. And if you look at Tommy's documentaries and his journalism, it speaks for itself. You know, it in any other world, it would be multi-award winning, but it shows the failure of the government and the police and the mainstream media. So they will continue to try and bury the true narrative.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.